and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
If you're drunk,
Blasted.
intoxicated,
Rip. Plaster.
taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks. We would like this.
It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
All right, we got
Mike's hot.
football to get through. Hoops tonight. CFP standings come out. But we start on Tuesdays with Aggie football. Good morning to you, boys and girls. Opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 630 Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living over there?
Good morning.
All right. It's good to see you in, where are you, Lubbock today? Is that where you are?
That is correct.
All right. Glad you had safe travels. We start with Aggie football, as we do on Tuesdays. Aggie's coming off a loss on Saturday, back to Saturday football. Western Kentucky got out to an early lead, held on to it 41-28 to beat New Mexico State. Aggies will be at Texas A&M coming up on Saturday. The head football coach at New Mexico State University is Tony Sanchez, and he joins us on these Sports Animal to get us started. Good morning, Tony. How you living?
Good, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. Hey, sorry about the hold, man. JJ's on the road. Zay's new. He owes you a coffee. He didn't. Sorry that he called you so early this morning.
No, good. We're good to go.
Yeah. They jumped on you early, and it was too big a hole, huh? I mean, 24-7 early. And that was kind of the story. I know you scored some points and came back in the second half, but the hole was deep.
Yeah, but it was a 3-point game at the end of the third quarter. I mean, it's one of those deals. Yeah, we got down 14, and then we made it 21-7, and we had an opportunity at the end of the first half. We drove on down, and we turned the ball over on the 12-yard line going in, and they ended up going down and kicking a field goal to make it 24. But we came out of half, scored right away to make it 24-14, then scored again right away to make it 24-21. And then gave up 2 critical third downs, and they were able to extend the lead. So, I mean, guys battled back, and, again, the game was a very winnable game late into the game going into the fourth quarter. I mean, I think most of the fourth quarter was about a 10-point game, and we had the ball, and we turned it over 5 times. That's the whole deal right there. I mean, we outgained them, we outrushed them by over 200 yards, and we turned the ball over too many times. I think we threw 3 picks and then 2 fumbles.
Kind of been the story of the year, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it has. I mean, our guys are playing hard. We're running the ball better down the stretch, and we're playing better run defense. We held them to 116 yards rushing, and they've done a lot more than that. But just we've given up some big plays in the passing game, and and offensively, we've been opportunistic at times, but we have to be more consistent. And the turnovers haven't really been a big thing, but it really came back to bite us. We got a couple on defense, and at the end of the day, they got 20 points off turnovers, and we got 7 off turnovers, so that's a 14-point difference, and we lost the game by 13.
Now, I know what the numbers are, and I know what the record is, but I look at the teams that are top of your league in Western Kentucky and Jack State and Liberty Sam Houston, and I mean, you got to look back at these and say, man, we were in these games and these turnovers, and in some cases slow starts, in one case a slow finish. You got to feel like I know what the record is, but we're not as far away as maybe it looks.
No, and that's kind of the deal, in our conference right now. I mean, you could argue Western Kentucky, Liberty, Jacksonville State, those are 3 best teams in our conference. And, having played all those guys, it's, they're pretty talented. And, again, you could have, should have, would have, right? But, yeah, you're right. The Liberty game, I think they were leading for 59 seconds, and that's a game that we need to do a better job of closing the door. And then this last week, you get down 14, and then you're playing catch-up the whole time, and, you do a good job of catching up, but you're still a little bit in the hole. So we just got to do a little bit better job of taking care of details. And, I mean, we've got some personnel things that we got to deal with, and but our guys are playing hard, and, it's one of those deals we got to keep our head down. We just got to finish.
He's New Mexico State football coach Tony Sanchez. He's with us this morning on the Sports Animal.
No, Coach, we have talked this season about finding that passing game to go with the run game. What did you see in the moments that you did turn the football over when you're trying to make plays downfield?
Yeah, it's our first pass attempt of the night. We hit the tight end over the middle and kind of bounced off his hands, and they get a pick. And Santino settled down, and he did some good things. He made a couple mistakes, but he also made some good plays. And it's not just that. We're a little limited with the receiver group right now. Those guys, have got to do a little bit better job of, getting off some of that man coverage and making plays and catching some of those 50-50 balls. So it's a collective deal right there. Nunez came in, and, we used both quarterbacks quite a bit throughout the course of the game, different, type of packages and stuff. So I think that helped us kind of give us a dual threat look for those guys. And, and it was very evident in the way we were able to run the football. But we were better in the passing game, but not where we need to be to go ahead and, and get that win.
Now, what does that say about your team when you are able to run for 331 yards and the opponent knows that's something that is going to be a focus of your offense, but you are able to be successful on the ground?
Yeah, I think, we're healthier up front than we've been in a while. And, and we're just, we're able to, late in the season is kind of, when, you want to be, fighting for bowls and fighting for championships, because running the football late in the season is kind of the key to success, So, yeah, we were able to lean on them a little bit. We played really physical up front. And again, I think, if you watch that body of game, it's just, even when we did turn the ball over, we turned the ball over on the 12 going in, when Santino's turnover, again, it's a 10-point game at the time. And, we turn it over right around the 40-yard line, right after a 10-yard gain. And, Mike Washington's, again, it was like a 12-yard gain, first down in midfield. And that's where, so, those were real critical turnovers, and, they killed drives we were moving the ball on. So, the positive is we'll be able to be physical at the end of the year and run the football. The negative is we just keep getting in our own way.
Tony Sanchez is with us. The Aggies could beat 41-28 at home on Saturday pass. Good thing it gets easier this weekend, though, huh? A little trip to Kyle Field. So 14th ranked Texas A&M is on the horizon. I don't have to ask you what you see in them. Obviously, they're one of the best teams in the country. The message to the boys is what, and what do you see that maybe you can take a little bit of advantage of?
Well, the biggest thing for us is just consistency and approach. You don't really change, your approach against a team like this. It's later in the year, so we'll have a nice long practice today, and it'll be, our Wednesdays are a little shorter than normal. I think everyone's kind of doing that this time of year. But as far as our consistency and our approach, and we came in on Sunday, we practiced, we lifted, we watched the film, so we're not changing really anything up. We just got to continue to get better. And, I think the biggest thing, too, is when you're sitting there and you know that, okay, hey, we're out of a bowl game, and, that's just reality. And so you challenge your guys, and, and I think they responded well. We talked to our seniors, hey, it's your job to, how are you going to be remembered? How are you going to leave this place? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to leave with a fighter spirit, and keep on working through and show the young guys how it is to strain through the finish line? And for the young guys, continuing to build, keep that competitive spirit, keep on growing, and if, those guys do those things, which I believe they will, then, we'll go out there and we'll fight in this game. This is a really good team. I think they're ranked 15th in the country. They're very explosive. They've got some big games coming up after us with Auburn and Texas and stuff, so they're coming off a bye week. So it'll be a big challenge, but, we're excited about it. And, it's one of those, it's a great opportunity for us to go in and compete at a high level and see if we can go get a win.
Yeah, and it is a pride thing, right? You look these guys in the eye and your competitors, and they all want to go play in front of 100,000 people. And the opportunity, I always use the word opportunity in these games. And Look, you see it every year. Teams pull something off that where'd that come from, and it catches the eye of the nation, right? And
there's no doubt.
Are they catching? When you look them in the eye, though, are they catching what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the things that was really evident. In that game the other night, we knew that we kind of let some opportunities get away in that first half. Literally we should have walked into halftime at the very worst at 21-10, right? And again, we have that turnover, they score. So we're sitting there, it's 24-7, right? You're playing the number one team in the conference. And, before you blink up and look, it's 24-21. So our guys, they got a lot of moxie. You know what I'm saying? They're not rolling over. They're fighting their ass off. They're doing the things that they need to do to give themselves a chance. We just got to be better at closing things out.
Hey, lastly, passing of John Robinson, and former Rams coach, former UNLV coach. You of course, a former UNLV coach. I'm going to assume you had some dealings with John, and I did too. We haven't got into this much, but legend's an interesting word, and I think he is one. I love your thoughts on him, because I thought one of the gentlemen of football, both pro and college football, and an amazing football coach. Your thoughts on the passing of former Rams coach, former UNLV coach John Robinson yesterday?
Well, first of all, he was a really good guy, really kind guy. I got a chance to meet him a couple of times, and he was really always gracious, and just got to share some good stories. And I know the Vegas community real well, really intimately, and I know how they feel about him. And he was always a well-liked guy, a good guy, treated people really well, and just competitively. You look at what he did. With the Rams and with USC. I think there's no doubt he's a legend. Anybody who plays in the big game at both levels, that's pretty impressive. Very few people ever get to sniff it at any level. So his body of work speaks for himself. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, all these wins and losses or successes and things like that, they're remembered for a little bit. But the legacy you leave, the way you treated your players, how you were in your communities, and those are the things that last a whole lot longer. And I know he'll be remembered for a long, long time.
Did the UNLV community hold him in high regard? I believe they did. I know you know it much more intimately than I.
Yeah, so Steve Stallworth is an old UNLV quarterback who, he runs the South Point. He's one of the general managers there, and he sends out emails all the time for all the UNLV. I'm still on that thing, and he sent out a really nice message about a week ago for all of us to say prayers for him, and then sent out another one today. I got a call yesterday from a couple, big supporters of the program, just kind of letting me know when he passed away. It was I believe yesterday at 1:00 his time. Yeah. So, people were following him really closely and stuff. So, he was really well, respected and loved in Las Vegas.
Yeah, one of the good ones. All right. Hey, appreciate the conversation. Go get him. Lastly, where are you quarterback-wise? Is it Santino your guy going forward, and you're going to mix Nunez in there and just continue to let him grow?
Yeah, that's the thing. Santino will get the start, but we will be a dual package guy. We have stuff for Nunez. We had him in last week. He played quite a few plays. He'll do so as we move forward and make teams prepare for both.
All right, safe travels. Good luck against A&M. We'll catch up with you next Tuesday morning.
All right, appreciate you. Go Aggies.
Be well. He's Tony Sanchez, the head football coach at New Mexico State. JJ, look, you coach somewhere, you get caught up in the tradition and the family of wherever you are. And Tony, for a long time high school coach in Las Vegas, and John Robinson, who was a legend at USC, a terrific coach for the Rams for so long, and then had a nice career at UNLV. And every time I met him, and it was just probably three. Like the ultimate gentleman, right? Just the kind. I think that was the word Tony just used too. Passing of just a guy who touched so many lives yesterday. And growing up a Rams fan as I did, and John Robinson was the coach there, and at SC before that. That kind of hit me a little bit yesterday. I was interested in Tony's thoughts.
Yeah, and when you have that connection, and he talks about the legacy, and you're going to remember the person that you knew first before the wins when you have those type of connections.
Yeah. All right. JJ's in Lubbock. Zay is sitting in JJ's chair. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta. The number to get in today, 505-246-0610. That's how to play radio with us. 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animals phone line. It is our text line as well. Emails come in this morning, jeff@sportsanimалabq.com. JJ@sportsanimалabq.com. We'll set the table for you when we return. Big game, brutal game last night in the NFL. We'll get into that. Big day for Lobo Hoops, both the men and women with big opportunities today. and a whole lot of quarterback news in the National Football League. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Zay is in pushing buttons, and you might even hear him today. I mean, if JJ lets him laugh. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
When you have sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
How's the travel to beautiful Lubbock, Texas?
You got here safe and sound.
That's all that really matters. JJ's got Lobo women's basketball tonight here on The Sports Animal. Lobos and Texas Tech. What time you hit the air? 5 o'clock, is that right?
4:30.
4:30. That's a short 2 men on today. We better give them. We better give them the audible. And they got to get it in quick.
It's going to be a little bit pre-recorded. So I don't know if an audible is
It's
necessary.
a little bit pre-recorded.
Yeah, I don't know if an audible. I mean, I could maybe run the audible in the middle of the pre-recorded.
A little bit pre-recorded. I want what? How can we pre-record the morning show and just take a few mornings off? Can we do that?
Probably could.
Is that allowed?
You'd have to do it right after the last game of the night beforehand, probably.
I was never familiar with pre-recorded live local shows before.
Well, you need a producer still.
Okay. You want to come over to our show? I mean, how many of our producers have they taken? Seriously.
I can do both. It's all sports to me.
All right, let's work on it. JJ 23-15. That's a tough loss for the Rams last night. It's kind of amazing to me. Tua comes back and their defense looks great. Like
right.
I mean,
they couldn't protect Matthew Stafford last night. What that have to do with Tua?
I was just telling Zay, one of the worst fantasy losses. I get 3 points at 100 yards, and I had Puka Nacua, and I lose by 1 point. He had 98 yards.
That's fantasy, man. In those weird scoring leagues.
Freaking hate it. Hate it. That's a huge loss for the Rams. They go to 4-5. The Dolphins were 2-6. Rams turned the ball over. They couldn't move the ball. Basically, their first 3 possessions were wastes. And then they finally got things moving. I thought when they got some tempo going, they were able to move the football. And I don't know what they couldn't get Kyron Williams moving. Nacua had 9 catches, 98 yards. Cooper Kupp 7 for 80. Stafford threw for 293 yards. We had the interception. He was sacked 4 times. He was pressured all night. And I don't know that I thought Tua was great. In fact, I don't know that I thought the Dolphins really did anything exceptional. Although they scored on every drive in the second half, except for that last one. They just got a bunch of field goals, and they did enough. But it is stunning to me that Tua comes back and all of a sudden that defense looked really good.
Yeah, we know the Rams have had the injuries this season, and that's why you look at some of the numbers and they have the 3rd worst red zone offense in the league, but you don't expect it to look like that now. And with Puka Nacua back, with Cooper Kupp back, Kyron Williams, and Miami made it difficult on Stafford all night long, and we know he's a quarterback that he lives in the pocket. He wants to throw downfield from the pocket. Calais Campbell and company were getting in his grill all night long, and it was really surprising to see how inefficient the offense was. And even they had the 5-yard penalty where they made the field goal penalty, missed the field goal. So things like that, just taking points off the board for the Rams, and you're expecting to see the team start to take steps forward, not that they were healthy. And you're right. It's, sports are an interesting thing. Football is an interesting game when you look at one player where like, why does that make the defense better? But Tua being back has instilled a different confidence in this Miami team. And they were getting after Stafford, and I did think that Tua had some nice moments where he was throwing off platform. He's moving. I know everyone was holding their breath after the interception when he put his head down to tackle someone,
the head. Yeah.
Which you're like, what are you doing there? But what you expect out of Tua, it will start to get better and better. The timing throws, the off-platform stuff, and they just did enough on the road in a game that was ugly, sloppy. But when you find a way to win a road game in the NFL, you're feeling really good about yourself.
Yeah, it was a have to for them. I mean, it was a have to for them. And I'm going to tell you, and Troy Aikman said it, this is the one that the Rams are going to rue when it comes December and they're sitting a game out. I just really believe this. They'd been humming. They'd been scoring points. They looked good. They scored they beat the Seahawks last week, the Vikings the week before. The Raiders the week before, I mean, not that they were scoring a ton of points, but it looked like their offense was getting healthier with Nacua and Kupp back, and Stafford looked good, and it was just they just couldn't protect last night. That the moment you're talking about was when Christian Roseboom had the interception, and Tua went in to make the tackle, put his head down, and took a full-speed knee right to the side of the head, and you're like, whoa! Like if that was anybody else, you wouldn't even think about, there's another football play, right? But it's that dude, and it's, damn. But he got up and he looked good. 20-28 for Tua Tagovailoa, 207 yards, touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked 3 times. They didn't run the ball well. 67 yards. Literally nothing impressive out of Miami except for going across the country and getting a win, and that's really all that needs to be impressive, right?
Yeah, they made less mistakes, and you finish drives with points, even field goals. You're going to find a way in a close game.
Yeah, it's a brutal loss for the Rams. Just a brutal loss. Zay, what do you think?
I do think that the Dolphins didn't do anything exceptional, but like you said before, I'd like to give credit to their defense. I mean, just because the Rams did come in, with all their weapons and to hold them to 15 points is pretty exceptional, especially just Matthew Stafford in general, regardless of who his receivers are, holding him to no touchdown passes. And 1 interception is impressive. So if Miami can play complimentary, it's a big deal. And Tua, he's making it real hard for the Dolphins to, when he had the last head injury, it's hard for them to keep him out when he comes back every time and is, immediately a jolt of. Yep. Yeah, no, there's nothing for them to keep him. If he's cleared and he wants to play, he's going to play football. Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a really interesting conversation that you bring up. Who's responsible for Tua's future? Tua or the Dolphins?
I think it's his family. I think it's the people around him.
Okay, but to your point, because you bring up something that's not the first time I've heard it. And JJ, I hear, the Dolphins keep throwing him out there, and because they're paying him millions of dollars to be their quarterback, and when he's medically cleared and he says, "I want to play football," then, I mean, are they? Are they at fault if something happens long term to Tua Tagovailoa?
And that's exactly where I was going to go with. So, like, when you think of who's in charge or who's responsible now, I think the easiest way to figure that out is knock on wood, play the worst case scenario, say he gets another one. Who do you look at in hindsight and say, why did you guys let this happen? I think it's the doctors too. I mean, the number one headline we were seeing were no doctors, suggested he stop playing. So I think it's going to go back to those doctors.
I don't know if that's right. I no doctor has said he's not cleared to play.
Yeah, like none of them recommended he retire.
Right. Now I'm sure you could find someone that would recommend that he retire. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we surround ourselves with people who tell us what we want to hear.
Great
right?
Great point.
And so if 20 years from now or 30 years from now, Tua is sitting around making love to his cocktail and can't speak to people in a room, right? And but believe me, I've seen this, right? Who's at fault here? And is there any responsibility on the Dolphins to shut him down? And I'm going to tell, because it's interesting, just the way you phrased it made me think. And I know I've heard it before. The Dolphins can't not play him or whatever. The Dolphins are paying Tua Tagovailoa a lot of money to play quarterback. Okay, and I do believe they are concerned about the person that is Tua Tagovailoa. But by the same token, if Tua says, hey, I want to play football, I'm a grown-ass man, I'm versed, I'm educated in the risks, I understand I've had multiple concussions, and I've done the research, I've spoken with medical professionals and my family, and I want to play football. The doctors say he is medically cleared to play football. Is it incumbent upon the Dolphins to say, well, we're protecting you from yourself? I mean, or are they at fault here? JJ, I mean, what do you think? Because to me, if dude says I want to play football, I mean, if he doesn't play for them, then he's going to go play somewhere else.
Yeah, both sides are assuming the risk in this. And I think that with what NFL teams are doing now, with what they have to do because of so many years of looking the other way, of people not thinking concussions or anything else, then, hey, I just took a hard hit, I might see some stars, I got to get back up there. But I think I trust a little bit more in the process with the neurological doctors and the outside opinions in this, but everyone's assuming some risk. And my thing is, I know it's quarterback, it's the face of a franchise, but it all felt a little disingenuous when everyone was talking about Tua and concussions not coming back. And does anyone say Chris Olave should never play football again?
I've heard that, yeah.
But I mean, now it is. But like, it's up to these players. If they make the decision to play, they're cleared to play. Everyone's assuming the risk. And what you want is an athlete is that when you're going through this process and you're making this decision for yourself, is you're getting the right, medical advice on it. And I do think that's what helps having these not 100% affiliated doctors come in to where you can have that conversation where there's not an entity just pushing to have you play because you're making.
Well, I think you need a diversity in opinions a little bit too.
Yeah.
I mean, think back, JJ and Zay. I mean, you're there when you're in your mid-20s. You're invincible, right? I mean, you're never like, you think about 40 years old and you think, oh man, I'm not, whatever. I'm not going to be old like that. And then all of a sudden you hit 40 and you're like, whoa, right? And you 50, I'm never going to be that. I mean, you don't think about that. I'll worry about that then. And then you get there, and I'm going to tell you, I've been sitting at dinner with a Hall of Fame running back who has CTE, and he knows he does. And he was talking about how he's angry at his former team for throwing him out there when they knew that he was concussed. Now, look, this was back in the 70s and 80s when they didn't have concussion protocol. Rub a little dirt on it, take an Advil, and go out there. And he knows, like, he's struggling having a conversation, being social, and he verbally, I mean, he talked about it. He's angry at his team. He basically said, I want to be coherent when my daughter gets married, right? I mean, I watching somebody like that who, you ask the same question over and over that really can't remember something. It's real. Now, is that going to happen to Tua? I have no guarantee that it will or will not. I don't know that. But if you get to that point, are the Dolphins guilty, or do they play a part because they put him out there? And I mean, look, again, 20, 25 years from now, I don't know. And does Tua come back and have a lawsuit? I don't know where we are. But again, it's a grown-ass man making a grown-ass man decision and educated, understanding what the risks are, or at least certainly being having all the information that's available to him.
Yeah, and the key word you said there is decision, and that also goes into this. Like, if he was somebody that was, on the edge, and the coaches were like, "Oh, well, you're on contract, so you have to," then that'd be a different story. Yeah, that'd be a whole different story. And then, also when I think of doctors, I mean, just initially growing up, I grew up playing football in a different time than maybe the 80s or 90s, of course. And there was many times where, a couple times a year, there'd be a player that was like, my doctor told me that I couldn't play anymore. He said my concussion was too bad and I can't suffer another. Yeah. And that's how I thought things worked. I thought there was like a certain number where they would hit the stop button. And I thought Tua may have been coming up on that number or hit that number.
He may.
So I thought that there would be a doctor that would give him that protocol, but maybe him being a grown adult, it's different than when you're 17 and you suffer a bad concussion.
All right, let's continue this on the other side. There's also breaking news in the NFL this morning. An offensive coordinator has been fired. This person has taken the fall for this team's offensive woes. We'll tell you who that is and where that team goes. 505-246-0610. I'm curious where you are on the concussions. Like, I'll never tell a guy what to do. I've got my feelings on what, if I knew that person, what I might suggest. But at some point, we all make our own decisions. And with Tua, I mean, heck, when he's healthy, he's playing pretty well. Hey, if you've been the victim of a home break-in, a business break-in, you know way too well it takes hours, if not days, for police to respond. Simply because there's just not enough officers to cover all the calls that they get for service. But when it's you, when it's your home and your business, you need a quick response. How about 7 minutes or less? That's the typical response time for IPS customers. International Protective Service has officers strategically placed all around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe, and they react quickly. They catch criminals many times in the act, detain them, call police to come pick them up. IPS provides standing guards if you need eyes on your property around the clock. They install alarms, camera systems. They have a state-of-the-art facility and monitor those cameras 24/7. It raises the level of security around your home or business. I trust IPS. I have for years. They monitor my home. They're there every day. I see them every day come by. When my alarm's gone off, they've been there very, very quickly. Quick response to your alarm, standing guards at your business. It's what IPS does. You'll sleep better at night. The number's 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com.
This report brought to you by the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company.
I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah, that's hardly right. That's kind of what I am. All right, the Bears have fired Shane Waldron, their offensive coordinator. He was hired 10 months ago. The whole offense is under scrutiny. Who's going to take the fall? Was it going to be the head coach, Matt Eberflus? The rookie quarterback sure as hell isn't going to take the fall. And so it was the offensive coordinator. Bears have lost 3 straight. In those 3 games, they have totaled 27 points. They're averaging under 280 yards per game this season, which is the 3rd lowest in the National Football League. And so the guy who takes the fall, at least for now, in Chicago is Shane Waldron. JJ, thoughts?
This is an organizational failure for the Chicago Bears. You cannot have a lame duck coach stay when you're resetting your franchise with a top pick at the quarterback position. We saw it in Washington. They redid the staff. Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, and it's been fantastic. For Jaden Daniels. Yeah. Shane Waldron was not good in Seattle, but we know it's a buddy-buddy system in the NFL, so Matt Eberflus brings him in to work with Caleb Williams, and this team shouldn't be this bad. If Caleb Williams is struggling, all right, it's a rookie. But this team is a disaster for the amount of offensive and veteran talent that they brought in to work with Caleb Williams. He's been sacked 18 times the last 3 weeks, 9 times against the New England Patriots. They haven't scored a touchdown in like 27 possessions. It's insanely bad on offense, and this, of course, starts with Shane Waldron, but this is on Matt Eberflus, and I go hard. The Bears are doing it again. They did the same thing when they drafted Mitch Trubisky as they fired the coaching staff after 1 year. Did the same thing when they got Justin Fields. They fired the coaching staff after 1 year. This was a miscalculation. They should have reset, not just with Caleb Williams, but the coaching staff, and it's not going to get better this season.
So for a little bit of context on what you're saying, and I think you're right, the other quarterbacks, there were 6 rookie quarterbacks drafted, or 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. 2 of them have not played, or at least not played significantly. J.J. McCarron is out with the injury in Minnesota, and Michael Penix Jr. has just played a couple mop-up roles, so he hasn't played. But the other 3, Jaden Daniels, to whom you referred, in Washington, has brand new coaching staff, and what Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury have done has been spectacular. What Bo Nix has fallen into in Denver, not a brand new coaching staff, a second-year staff to whom the organization is committed. And in New England, where Drake May is, JJ, it's a new coaching staff, whether you want to believe in it or not. It's a new coaching staff that was brought in and knew what they were getting, and it was a fresh new start. What the situation in Chicago was, you went into last offseason, are they going to fire Matt Eberflus? And he ended up, they finished strong, and so he got to keep his job, and he gets to go with this new quarterback. And, I mean, I don't know, you tell me. The next coach fired is what? Like, we're certain that job will be open, right? There's no way where I don't know, maybe they finish strong like they did last year and he keeps his job. But that thing feels like it's going the wrong way and going the wrong way quickly.
It does. It was probably the one where Eberflus does last out the season. But then if I'm Chicago, I'm on the phone with a division rival in Detroit. And I'm like, can I get Ben Johnson in there to work with Caleb Williams, Bobby Slowick down there in Houston? Like, these are the dudes that need to be next in line to be working with Caleb Williams, because that is a talented quarterback. That is an offense that has pieces to be successful. And it's not just a couple droughts. Like, they've been the worst offense in the NFL.
I'm going to point to the Hail Mary. And granted, that was an 18-15 game at the time. Or no, at the time it was 15-12. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And say, I told JJ, like they had won 3 games in a row at that point. And going into that game, they scored 24, 36, and 35. They were starting to click. And they had the Commanders beat, and they get beat on the Hail Mary. And I've said this, and I'll stand by this until it proves me wrong. And it might spin the Commanders in the right way. I've seen too many times some crazy, weird, deflating play just beat the crap out of you for the rest of the season. And look, I mean, look what's happened ever since that play. They've been horrible.
Yeah, and one thing about that game, though, they did have 0 points going into the fourth quarter. It was 12-0.
I get it.
Yeah, but also, with Caleb Williams and them finding the offensive coordinator, I think that where it falls on him is you see Caleb, a lot of the sacks he's taking, it's because he's holding the ball too long. Now, that can be something you fix in practice, but also I think that maybe to help out your QB, I'm not sure, maybe they have done this, but maybe just add some more check down routes, add some easier routes so he's not having to wait for all of his receivers to get open, because I don't know if it's a disconnect with him, if it's bad route scheme. I don't know exactly what the issue is, but he's running around almost every play.
Let me give you this. First of all, that was his MO. That's what he did in college. You just can't do that at this level, right?
Okay.
You look at his tape at SC, and he was a damn magician. But secondly, JJ, I'm going to yield to you with this a little bit. They had they drafted him with the number 1 pick, and then they had number 9. And as much as I really like Rome Odunze, and I think Rome Odunze is going to be a really good player, how do you not at that point go and get somebody to protect your rookie quarterback instead of going out and getting another receiver when you already had DJ Moore? You just paid DJ Moore, and I believe Keenan Allen was already signed. How do you not go and get somebody to protect him and shore up your offensive line at that point?
Yeah, this is a conversation that everyone was having during that time. It's nice. Hey, look, you got Brian Rome Odunze, but he's going to be your wide receiver 3. That's right. Like the draft, at the top of the draft, the things you need to be focused on. All right, do you need a quarterback? No. All right, then you need to protect whatever quarterback you have, and then you need to rush that quarterback. It was a prime opportunity to get your franchise guy and then add another offensive lineman to protect that guy instead of thinking 9 is a luxury pick. And that's what they turned it into with Rome Odunze.
I think the Bengals are to blame for that. We saw the Cincinnati Bengals kind of get away with it when they drafted Chase, and you're like, who's going to protect Burrow? And then somehow he still went out.
But see, they had Higgins at that point, I guess. But
no, they didn't.
They didn't.
Like that was early in the process, and I understand. Like Zay, you're right, but that was also they didn't necessarily have anything. Like this was clear. Like all right, you brought in DeAndre Swift and Keenan Allen, DJ Moore was there.
Yep. All right. When we come back, what about quarterbacks with the Cowboys? Who's their quarterback going to be? Yesterday, some of you were calling for Trey Lance. Look at you. Is Mike McCarthy going to the bullpen? What he had to say? Oh, maybe what Micah Parsons had to say about him. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now.
All right, and then there's the Cowboys.
Mike's hot.
Opening drive, Jeff Symbiota, JJ Buck. Isaiah, we have a producer today. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's like, JJ, remember the old days?
Back in the day.
Kind of, hey, welcome to our day, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting up early and doing this. Zay's got a remote today, too.
Dude, he's been putting in work like crazy recently.
Star. I mean, he's the star.
Taking over.
Right. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
He's got a remote today.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that one. It's my first one. And also, me being a Midwestern kid, grew up in Illinois. It'd be cool to see Earl Acker there if I get a chance.
Well, yeah, he might be there. I hear he's cutting the ribbon, him and Noda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll, you want me to?
Yes, I'm definitely riding your suit coattails over there.
It's just a sports coat. It's just a blazer. It's lilac, by the way.
Lilac.
He came in, he's like, damn, look at the perp. I'm like, lilac.
Quick correction.
That's right, whatever that means. All right, Cowboys, who's their quarterback? Bears fired Shane Waldron today, their offensive coordinator. What do the Cowboys do, dude? And so the Cowboys, first of all, can we get to this? I guess their head coach and their defensive star,
I love it,
talked it out yesterday and everything's fine. It was just a big misunderstanding.
I hope not. I hope that's a deep digger there.
So you're good with what Micah Parsons said?
Yes, because Jerry acts oblivious to things, so I need it to be as clear as day that the players want McCarthy out of there.
All right, so if Bill Belichick's your coach next week, you're better off?
For the future?
This team's winning next week? So who's winning with this damn roster? Because I don't care who you put in there, and you can blame it on McCarthy all you want, and fine. Maybe if you're decided he's not the guy, fine. But I don't give a damn who is coaching with this roster. Tell me why you think they're any better.
The games would be much closer.
Why?
Because they are so undisciplined. It's getting out of gaps. It's bad play calling. It's penalties, especially on the defensive end. I mean, the offense can't get anything going.
Defensively, they're really bad.
They're terrible in defense, and that's where Bill, he's got some meltdowns, in some big games. But for the most part, X's and O's, he's going to be able to evaluate a defense and say, you know what, we obviously can't try this, we can't do this, so we're just going to do this.
So you think Micah Parsons is right when saying Mike McCarthy didn't put in the work?
I think what he meant there was on the football field, but if it was subliminal, McCarthy's been coaching.
Mean what you say.
Yeah, McCarthy's been coaching longer than any. I'm sure longer than any of them have been playing.
And he ain't a silver spoon guy now. He worked his way up. You go look at how he got there. He didn't just get handed it by some sort of nepotism or anything like that.
Yeah, 100%.
He worked his ass off. And by the way, last I checked, he's got a Super Bowl ring and Micah Parsons doesn't.
He's got
Go ahead. Tell me how he doesn't deserve it. Go ahead.
It's the penalties. I mean, in football.
Oh, we're looking over the Super Bowl ring. I got it.
No, well, now, because I think back then, I mean, even then, that Packers team squeaked into the playoffs, and then Aaron Rodgers got on a heater.
All right.
But he still.
I get it. So the coach gets the blame, but none of the credit. I understand.
He gets some credit, but he also has to take some blame for them leading the league in penalties since he became the head coach, and it's like by far.
Team, yeah.
It's by far.
But all his teams weren't like that. They weren't all like this. If you go back and say it wasn't always that way, at some point when do players make plays? When do players jump off sides? It's my fault that guy's jumping off because he can't handle the – really?
I think usually – I mean, it very rarely whether it be a guy that jumps off sides in a game and he didn't do it in practice. Like, usually what you see on Sunday, you see at some point.
No, you practice like you play. I agree with that.
And I think that there's too much of a non-disciplined culture around there. And that's not as, he could be a better coach for another team. But some teams like the Cowboys, who they can't handle the spotlight, I think there needs to be a guy that locks them in on the main goal. Whereas McCarthy, I think he's a scheme guy. I think Dallas needs more of a military-style guy or a guy who's
you always go the other way, right? When something doesn't work, you go the other opposite.
With Dallas, after 30 years, it's that time. It's that time in Dallas.
So you're going to keep having Jerry Jones as your guy. He's not the problem. Just keep bringing in different coaches.
He's the problem.
Because after 3 decades, you can keep flopping from Dave Campo to Bill Parcells to Jason Garrett to whoever you want, right? But Mike McCarthy's the sole issue. Look, I think Mike McCarthy's going to be out, and probably is best for him and for the club if they make a change. It's time. But I just can't sit here and say it's his fault that these guys are it's all him, dude. At some point, take some damn responsibility.
Yeah, it is not all him.
It's so easy to coaches. You know who leads the country? JJ, we're the Lobos in the nation in penalties. Like maybe the 3rd or 4th worst. Now, last year they were in the same place, and you told me how undisciplined they are. But with Bronco Mendenhall now they're not undisciplined. Now it's just young team making mistakes.
Is it less penalties though than last year?
I'm not sure it is, dude. Like you go look at the NCAA stats and penalties. JJ, help me on this.
No, it's everything that Zay is saying is awesome. If Jerry Jones wasn't there, none of that matters. Like I'd feel more upset about Mike McCarthy if he had more say over the roster, but he doesn't. This is Jerry Jones' roster. And if we're what do we expect a bad football team to look like without Dak Prescott? They're not going to be any good with Cooper Rush. They might as well throw Trey Lance out there to see if they want to keep him as a backup because Cooper Rush, Trey Lance both don't have contracts after this season. And if Mike McCarthy, heck, what incentive do you have to do that? None, because you're a lame duck coach. So you're just going to try to go with the veteran guy, Cooper Rush, try to win some games, and there is zero sense of identity on this football team moving forward because who's the head coach? Doesn't matter. It's just going to be whoever says yes to Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I don't care who's coaching this team right now with this roster. Dan Campbell, Bill Belichick, Kyle Shanahan. I don't care.
They were so good last year, though.
Oh, until they weren't. Until it mattered.
So imagine you win 12 games all year, you dominate, never lose at home, and you come out so flat in the playoffs.
And it was Mike McCarthy's fault that Dak threw those interceptions. You're right. No, you grown-ass professional men making millions should need to be pumped up and incentivized to play in a playoff. No, you're right. You're right. It was all his fault. Grown-ass professional men playing for a championship, but it was his fault that Dak threw those interceptions to turn the ball over. All his fault. I'm not telling you he's not culpable at all.
He's got some time management meltdowns. He's got some play calling meltdowns.
All right.
It's not all his meltdowns.
And he threw those interceptions, and he missed those tackles and those blocks, too. Meanwhile, what are they going to do at quarterback?
Trey Lance.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Clear.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or
things are out of order, and I see a lot of discipline issues as well as accountability issues.
Quote, I never once threw or even intended to throw Mike McCarthy under the bus. Well,
there is it's kind of a double entendre. His statement is a double entendre. There is a flip side, but we're not that naive.
Look, man, he was tweeting at national television shows yesterday.
Yep.
And calling, out their quote unquote journalism for actually talking about the story and what he said. Dude, you said what you said. I get at some point what comes out of your mouth comes out of your mouth, right?
Yeah, I do think one thing about those shows, because I watched them, they aren't putting into context that he was asked directly about Mike McCarthy. They're making it seem like he just came out and brought him up for no reason.
And then he went completely around.
He did go too far.
No, he went away from the Mike McCarthy thing and then and brought it back in to throw him under the bus.
Yeah, he didn't have to. The end part, he did not have to.
If he goes through the whole thing, right, and Mike can go coach, he'll be all right. He'll end up coaching somewhere if he leaves. I feel bad for Zach Martin and these guys. That's who I want to hold a trophy for. Period. They worked way harder than Mike McCarthy ever would.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, that part dug a little bit. And I think there may have been some moment between him and McCarthy.
Obviously there was.
Yeah, there's something that made him angry.
I just don't know how that somehow helps your locker room or helps your team.
I think he's throwing the season. I think he feels like it can't get any worse and this season's over.
You got half of it to go, man. You got to stumble through half of the season.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're sticking with Cooper Rush. Mike McCarthy, who's still their head coach, said after the game that he would discuss Trey Lance. But then yesterday he said he's sticking with Cooper Rush. Definitely an easy decision because of what Cooper Rush has done in the past. Cooper Rush was not good this week.
Yeah, he's 0-2 versus the Eagles. Maybe that's his kryptonite.
All right, so the Texans will be better and everything will be fine.
Nah, not at all.
Right.
It might be uglier.
Well, I did watch Houston blow a game on Sunday Night Football at home where they picked off Jared Goff 5 times and couldn't score a point.
I saw something, you guys, it was like, I don't have the number exactly, but it's something to the tune of teams who threw 5 interceptions in a game and trailed by 15 points or more were like 1-357-1, something crazy like that before Sunday night. That's how uncommon throwing 5 interceptions, being down 15 points, and coming back to win is. Like, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Like, it just doesn't.
And this is where this has to be a Jerry Jones decision then, because Mike McCarthy has no reason to play Trey Lance. He's not going to be the coach next year, so he's going to go with the guy that's probably better in practice, the guy that probably understands things better, and Cooper Rush, the classic veteran. Just go out there, handle your business, and he has no incentive to try to work an offense around Trey Lance and throw him out there to see if he's worth being a backup quarterback. And this is a challenge you run into now with the season being over officially, with Dak Prescott not being out, is how do you look for things next year if it's not coming down from Jerry Jones? Because McCarthy has no reason to play Trey Lance.
So when that happens, is that the day Mike McCarthy's got to be out and you go interim coach?
I think he's going to finish the season.
Well, all right, but if it comes down from up top, let's just say it happens where JJ's saying, where Jerry says, "Well, Mike, I want to play Trey. I want to see what
the young boys.
Put the young buck out there."
That's it.
So if that happens, and I mean that's when Mike McCarthy says, "Fine, man, you go away. Have somebody else. Brian Schottenheimer can coach this team."
I think it depends on the remaining money at that point in time.
Well, he's going to pay him to go away. I mean, there's only what's left on this contract, right?
Yeah.
There's no multi-years to pay him out.
I mean,
but I guess if Mike McCarthy has that attitude, yeah. But I think Jerry's going to make him finish out the season.
If you start Trey Lance, you're pretty much telling everyone that you're giving up on the season, because I know there's some type of hope that
the season's over.
Yeah, exactly. But
with Cooper Rush starting, it's over.
100%.
And over with Dak Prescott starting.
Exactly. It was over when they didn't sign Derrick Henry. If we want to be honest about it, that was when I felt like they threw in the towel for this season. But I do think that if you start Trey Lance, you're pretty much officially, as the head coach, throwing in the towel, which would upset a lot of fans. And I think Jerry still deep down has a little bit of hope. But his last post-game interview, for the first time, it sounded like he was like, "Look, we suck." Fans
are crazy, but they're not stupid. they don't see a positive path with Cooper Rush. With Trey Lance, you're at least acknowledging, hey, is this dude good enough to keep on the roster? Because you need to find someone to back up Dak Prescott, because things can happen. Because Dak's not going anywhere. He just got the bag. But his hamstring just ripped off the bone. So we need to see if there's anyone competent enough on this roster that we can back him up with.
Or you got to draft a quarterback. And if Derrick Henry was on that roster, and didn't we have this conversation last time you were in when JJ was out?
Yes.
And Dak Prescott was still the guy. Their record would be what? I mean, would they be one game better? Would they be? I mean, what would they be? The roster is what the roster is, and the Cowboys' record is what the record is: 3 wins, 6 losses, 0-4 at home, with a point differential of -82. So if Derrick Henry was on that team, their roster or their record would be what? What would their record be? I mean, they're 3-6. Would they be 5-4? 4-5? What would their record be? 9-0? 9-0?
No, not 9-0. Not a chance. There's rather than it just dropping one player, what Derrick Henry would do is he would, number one, Dak would have less interceptions. He'd have less sacks. I think that the offense would be more efficient, because right now going in to play Dallas, I mean, you're literally worried about one offensive player. Like, you're going in worried about one guy, and if it's 2 receivers, that's still, you're just worried about the pass game.
Yeah, you take CeeDee Lamb away, and
they're done.
Yeah. Harrison, good morning. You're on The Sports Animal. Hi, Harrison.
Good morning. Good morning. One thought is, what if you're Mike McCarthy? Wouldn't you think it might be better to just step down now and just get away from the spray?
Yeah.
Because you're a lame duck guy, and why would you just sit there and go down with the ship while Jerry Jones makes bad decisions
As long as they're going to pay me. I mean, I'm not going to walk away from the rest of my paycheck. But yeah, I mean,
but he's getting paid well already. I don't think his money is that big of a deal. But he could just say, look, it had nothing to do with me. It was all Jerry Jones making bad decisions. Get away from it. Go find another coaching job somewhere else, even if it's an offensive or defensive coordinator, and just move on.
Yeah, he said that.
Because this is a train wreck right now, and he's taken a lot of the heat of it, and I don't think he's to blame. It's Jerry Jones.
I can't disagree with Harrison, though.
Yeah, no, it's an option. Harrison, appreciate you. No, it's an option. I mean, he could just say, bleep it. I'm done. I mean, you created this mess. You dropped it in my lap, and you're trying to make me the fall guy. Yeah, I don't think he's a bad coach.
He said
I don't think he's a great coach. I don't think he's a bad coach.
McCarthy said it in his last live press conference. He did say it, and he threw some shots at Jerry, and he says, I just really think there's a big benefit to having all your guys here, right before the draft. So that way he said, I don't like drafting for need. I like having everybody here before the draft so we know what we have rather than getting people signed the last second. And he said that I think that was the first public shot he kind of threw at Jerry. It was a soft one. But he basically says that, hey, don't blame me. I didn't have this whole team until the game of the game.
Well,
the day of the game.
It's that circumstance and I'm a skater. So, all right, 505-246-0610. Come on in. You want to talk quarterbacks? I mean, there's a lot. It's funny. This time of year, everybody's got a quarterback issue. You go into camp and everybody's stocked. Everybody's good at quarterback, except for maybe a team you didn't think so. Like, I don't know, how's Tampa Bay? Oh, they're fine. But there's other teams. What are the Giants going to do? There's a bunch of them. I want to get into that when we get back. 505-246-0610. That's the text line and the phone line. Your emails, Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Hey, want to keep your car looking and feeling new, or get it back to looking and feeling new? Remember, like when it was brand new? You can have the new car feel without getting a new car if you call my friends at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They come out to you with their mobile unit and they detail your vehicle. And they are the best in the city at doing it. That's why they were awarded best in the city. What does that mean, Jeff? They come to me. Yes, you're inside. Jeff, I'm busy. I get it. You don't have time to go take your car somewhere, drop it off, get a ride back, go back whenever. No. They're out in the parking lot, in the driveway, wherever it is that works for you. They detail your vehicle. And when they are done, it looks and it feels and it smells like the day you took it off the lot, like it is brand new. Have them come out before the winter weather hits in earnest. Have your vehicle professionally detailed, get a fresh coat of wax, and when they're done, it'll look and feel and smell brand new. That's why they are best in the city. And as a thank you to our veterans, On the Spot is offering a 10% discount for the wonderful men and women who serve and have served our country. It's all online. You can book and buy. Oh, by the way, as you're looking for gifts, winner. Every time I give this as a gift, winner. Book and buy online. OTSdetailing.com. It's at OTSdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Mike's hot.
Opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 the Sports Animal. You're welcome to get in today. Cowboys are sticking with Cooper Rush. What are the Giants going to do? Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Puck, Isaiah. Giants head coach Brian Daboll said Sunday that the team's going to evaluate all their options at quarterback during their bye week. And he stated that when he was asked if Daniel Jones will remain the team starter on Monday, quote, Joe, meaning Joe Shane, the GM, Joe and I communicate with our ownership group on a daily basis. Not just about the quarterback, but about every position. There's good communication there. We'll do what we normally do. If there are any changes, regardless of the position, we'll always communicate, end quote. I mean, they sit around, hey, all right, what do you think of the backup tight end play, Mr. Owner? Mr. Morrow jumps in. Really? I mean, what are their options? Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito? This is who you are, man. This is who you are. Look what winning one game gets you, JJ. Gets you $40 million a year. I mean, right? That's what that game, when they beat the Vikings on the road in the playoffs, he got paid, and Daniel Jones will be with somebody next year as a backup. He'll be in a Carson Wentz type of a role, right, for the rest of his career. And he'll make good gelt, and he'll be fine, and he'll live that life. But I don't know. Is Drew Lock your answer, or do you just ride this thing?
There's not an answer. You're just looking at this based on the injury guarantees. That's why Russell Wilson didn't finish out the season in Denver. It's why Daniel Jones won't finish out the season, because of if there is a significant injury and the guarantees that then trigger in the upcoming contract. That's why these veterans get benched at the end of the season, not just because you immediately have someone that you're going to play. It's just, that's the business side of it. And I actually would be excited if Daniel Jones is my backup quarterback next season. I think in spurts that Daniel Jones can be a good quarterback, but it's evident that it's not getting better. And you had Brian Daboll, this offensive guy coming over from Buffalo. The early returns were good, but the overall returns are less than spectacular Daniel Jones. And it's evident again in a matchup that should have been very successful for the Giants last week. He goes out there, can't move the football, throws 2 interceptions. You're in a 17-17 game. Now, Tracy fumbled the first play of overtime, but still you shouldn't have been in that position. But it's Daniel Jones. They're not a good football team, and now Daboll is just going to hang on and hope that he gets a chance with another quarterback next year.
Yeah, I think that's right. And what you're talking about with the injury guarantee, for those of you not familiar, so for instance, with the Broncos last year, when they decided internally, look, they didn't announce it to you and me, but I mean, we all knew, they decided that Russell Wilson was not their guy. That's when they benched him. And that was that whole, the issue with him. Because there's a clause in the contract that if he gets hurt playing football, that they have to pay him next year, that there's a guarantee for next year. And that same issue is with Daniel Jones. And if they decide, or when they decide, that he's not their guy next year, what JJ's saying is you'll see him get benched. Drew Lock will be the quarterback, and it might be now, it might be next week, whatever, but I think we all anticipate they're going to make that decision and make sure he does not get hurt so they're not obligated to have to pay him next year. Right? That's what they're talking about.
It really sucks. I have a buddy I used to play high school football with that was drafted to the Giants, or undrafted free agent. He said Daniel Jones was the first guy to walk up to him, say hello, introduce himself. Like, of all the players, invite him over for dinner. And it sucks to see somebody who you know is trying just be forced out the door like this.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Who'd you tell me is on one?
It is Mike.
What's up, Mike? You're on the Sports Animal. How you living?
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm living fantastic. The weather's fantastic. I want to jump in on this quarterback conversation. So the NFL has run itself into a really, really sticky corner where you have literally very, very few talented quarterbacks and even fewer prospects. And now you got 32 teams in the league. You're looking at maybe 10 to 15 actual viable quarterbacks. Everybody else is just absolutely garbage. And, it's because we're paying these guys, like you're talking about with Russell Wilson and Daniel Jones, these don't get injured clauses. There's so many clauses in these contracts for these guys, and then they get paid these giant lump sums of money to perform.
Yep.
Instead of like the real world where you get paid for performing. You get paid after you have performed a very, very nice thing. Instead, you're paying these guys like speculation, like they're going to do so great, and then they turn out to all be busts. And that's what puts so much pressure on all of these organizations to draft these players and all these things, and recruit these first-round guys, get them in, plug them in. Caleb Williams is a fantastic example of just a guy overhyped, over-delivered, and I don't know what anybody thinks about him, but I don't think he's that good. I didn't think he was that good in college. He's just a big old draft pick. I mean, it's just like got a bunch of hype at the beginning, but that's a huge problem for the NFL, and I really don't see a solution. And one more thing, guys, I think that it is on Mike McCarthy. You know what you're getting when you become the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. McCarthy has been compensated well. Yeah, ton of it goes on Jerry Jones. He gets the ultimate burden. He gets to wear the ultimate crown of blame and guilt. But Mike McCarthy has done a crap job, and that team was crap prepared on all three sides of the ball for the several games, as they will be this week, and he's completely lost the locker room. Thanks for the call.
Great call. So, all right, let me tell you something. I don't think he's wrong. I don't think Mike McCarthy's done a great job with this. I just can't put the whole blame on him.
I agree.
I think Mike McCarthy is a good coach. I don't know that he's done a great job with this team. All right. Now, does he get any credit when you were telling me they were winning 12 games and there was?
Yeah, he does.
All right. So that's good. Do you know what you're getting into when you take over the Dallas Cowboys job? Absolutely, you should. And if you don't, you're right, Mike. He's right. If you don't know what you're getting into, that's on you. Right? He should know what he's getting into. On the Caleb Williams thing, Jaden Daniels is proving at least in to be better. It's 2 years in a row. At least halfway through the season, we feel the number 2 pick was better than the number 1 pick, right? This was a guarantee. Caleb Williams, if you look back, and I know who's going to take the hit, and it's going to be Eberflus, and today they fired their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, and I get it. Go look at Caleb Williams in big games last year.
Oh.
Go back and look. JJ started out, 6-0 last year? They won that 49-42 shootout against Colorado, and then they faltered down the stretch, and where was he? Right? He didn't play the bowl game, which is fine. But they didn't win big games down the stretch. Is he talented? I think he is. I remember telling you this. Remember when he said the year before when they lost to Tulane in the Cotton Bowl? And he says, yeah, we just didn't want – whatever. We just didn't want to be there. And I'm like, whoa. Most college players, Cotton Bowl, that's kind of a big deal. Yeah, whatever. We're SC.
I think there's this thirst that everyone right now wants the next Mahomes. And I think
there isn't one.
There isn't one. And I think Mahomes being so, freestyle as far as his play style, and you saw a little bit of that with Caleb. So I think that is what drew teams to Caleb. And you're thinking, well, if Mahomes can get away with making all these crazy throws and maybe this guy can get away with it versus another guy who's more, what to expect, and, you can build an offense around him and give him an offense like Jaden Daniels. And you see how that's working out.
There are 5 teams in the AFC that I would say feel comfortable for the next few years at quarterback. 5 out of 5. Who?
Yeah, which ones?
Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Houston, and Los Angeles Chargers and Kansas City Chiefs.
There's 9 in the AFC easy.
Ooh.
You feel there's 9 in the
Easy.
AFC easy that feel comfortable like for the next 4 or 5 years?
Or at least have upside.
Okay.
Who did I miss?
Yeah, Buffalo, Miami, Patriots.
Miami? How can they feel comfortable with this guy getting knocked out every fourth week?
Because they gave him a contract after he was knocked out.
Okay, but so they
last year?
don't know who they have. I'm like, okay, feeling confident going forward. I don't think New England is either. I think New England's still in a question mark phase. While they may be committed to Drake May, I think they're still in are they comfortable? Are they happy with it?
Well, then, I guess, yeah, if you're always going to be uncomfortable, if you're talking about a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, what I'm saying is just you feel like you know, right? I'm not saying committed. They know what they're going to do. Indianapolis probably knows what they're going to do. But I'm saying, like, there's 5 teams that go, yeah, we're pretty good at quarterback for the next 5 years. We're good.
Okay, so I think what you think, Jeff, is there's a big difference between good and upside, or just like hopeful.
There's a difference between we're good and we're hopeful. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But a majority of the league is always going to be hopeful. Like, I do think the quarterback conversation is a little bit overblown. I don't think it's as broken. Like, I still think there's upside in Caleb Williams.
I do too.
You get a competent coaching staff in there. Like, are there guys that are underperforming? Yes, absolutely across the board. But you're telling me you don't think Trevor Lawrence can be a good quarterback? Like, it's like the Justin Herbert thing. It's like, look at that. They toned it back a little bit. They brought in an exceptional head coach, and then they started opening up the offense. And you're like, oh yeah, this guy is pretty darn good.
By the way,
and I think there's a lot of those stories.
I think Bo Nix. I mean, you see the Oregon hat, but I do think Bo Nix is already. I mean, there's no way I don't think he's a good choice. I can't see him falling off. I think he's gone through his worst part of his career, if you even want to say he ever was bad. But I think that Denver's
played 9 games.
I just think he's as you would expect from somebody that comes in much older than most quarterbacks. I think he's shown that he's poised. They should have beat Kansas City. Should have, would have, could have.
Yep. He did everything he should have done.
Yeah, I think Bo Nix is a very, very good
quarterback.
Look,
I'm fine with that. I think there's teams like Kansas City and JJ, to your point, Miami and maybe Indianapolis who feel, certainly Jacksonville, who feel like, yeah, no, I think we got our guy and there's upside. But to me, there's 5 of them in the AFC that are absolutely, yeah, no, that's our dude. Like, we're going to win with that dude.
I think Bo Nix is a for sure. I think he's more of a.
I think he's on his way to that.
Yeah, I think he's better than Richardson for sure.
I do too.
As far as now and potentially.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610. Let's get quarterback talk today. Although I did get a text. Jerry Jones is the problem. He's always been the problem. Stop talking about such a terrible football team.
Oh, that's kind of hard to do.
Is it?
I mean, he's put together some good rosters. Same with McCarthy.
Stop. Just stop.
No. He's drafted the most Pro Bowlers since 2000.
They're 3-6. They get blown out every time they play at home. I mean, keep telling me how good that team is. 34-6 the other day.
That's terrible.
Would the Saints beat them at home? The Saints are then lost 7 in a row.
Yeah, teams tend to do that. Though.
Teams tend to do what?
They beat us and then just fall off a cliff.
All right. What does that tell you about you?
Yeah, we're everyone's Super Bowl, I guess.
Yeah. Caleb got destroyed by base Notre Dame defense last year. That's how he knew he was a poser. So, all right. See? All right. Keep them coming at 505-246-0610. Keep going to I got an event, actually, I'm going to over at the Albuquerque Convention Center. Looking forward to it. I always do. It is a wonderful spot. And if you've got an event, you need a venue. You need a place to host an event. It is the Albuquerque Convention Center. They've got over 600,000 square feet of flexible indoor and outdoor meeting space with local art throughout the building, great food and beverage options. They'll cater to your needs. Entertainment and event space in the center of downtown. Parking garage right there off of Martin Luther King Jr., directly connected to the facility's east building, so it's easy access to wherever it is you're going. Spaces include meeting rooms and ballrooms and exhibit halls, a lobby, foyer space. It's walking distance from many downtown spots. It's mesmerizing interior aesthetics all throughout the building, right in the heart of downtown. The Albuquerque Convention Center will create the wonderful, perfect event for you, whether it's a holiday party, whether it's a gala, whether it's a whatever it is you got going on. Fantasy football draft. Hey, that's that. I mean, do that. From 10 people all the way up to 20,000 people. Take your event to the next level. They've got a staff that goes overboard for you and menu options that will excite your entire group. We take our group there every year. We take the players from Exleta New Mexico Bowl. We take them there every year. Why on Thursday night? Because they go above and beyond and they treat our guests the way we need our guests to be treated. It's all online. If you have an event, book at the Albuquerque Convention Center. Visit them at albuquerquecc.com. That's albuquerquecc.com. And then give them a call at 505-768-4575, 505-768-4575.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
Such. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Isaiah's in today producing. Jerry Jones was on his weekly segment on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, and he confirmed that Dak Prescott will have surgery and that his season is over. Quote from Jerry: "It's a more common injury in hockey, and his doctors, he's got doctors that are very familiar with how to repair that. His prognosis is wonderful. It just means that we're not going to have him the rest of the year," end quote. I don't know that that's anything that you didn't know, that he was going to have surgery. Hey, say I'll lean on you a little bit on this one. So you want McCarthy out, everybody. I mean, there's going to be a new coach. There's a lot of Deion love, right? The Deion, maybe Deion's the next coach. And somehow they get up and they get Shedeur and Deion. You're telling me they need a super disciplined coach. Yeah. Is that what you're telling me? Is that Deion Sanders?
Yes.
Yes?
The type of discipline that I would, yes.
Okay.
I think, number one, that's way too good to be true. So I'm not leaning on that. As soon as we paid Dak, I threw the Shedeur hope out the window. Way too good to be true. It'd be awesome if it happened. But what Deion would bring to the team is, I think he would bring accountability. And it's way more, like you said, they're grown. It's way more efficient and effective when you have a team culture where you're worried about not only your coach being upset if you jump off sides, but your brother right next to you. If you feel like your team is also going to hold you accountable to be disciplined, to do things the right way, then that is very, very effective as well, because your coach is not your parent. So, you're not babysat out there. So it's really important for the coach to implement team accountability. And I think Deion does that type of thing. I mean, Shedeur, in little huddles, there's guys like, he's standing there and Shadeur's like, "I want you to run a go route. I want you to run this." And the guy's like, "Oh, I twisted my ankle." He's like, "Can you run this go route or not? Like, if you can't run the go route, get off the field." And I think the Cowboys need that type of energy, and they don't have that right now. I think they're babied. I think the players individually aren't silver spooned, but I think the Cowboys as an organization, I think they don't go through any adversity within the team. And I think Deion would make them uncomfortable. I think comfortable is the right word to use. They're way too comfortable. I think Deion would keep them uncomfortable.
JJ?
I think it sounds great when we talk about Bill Belichick and Deion Sanders and these guys coming in. Is Jerry Jones going to hire someone like that? It's not, would they take that job? Would Jerry even interview one of those guys? So the last process, it was Mike McCarthy and Marvin Lewis. And you talk to an NFL team, and are those guys high on your list of who you want coaching your football team right now? Just if you did an NFL fan poll, they'd be really low. So I don't think this has anything to do with, get this guy in there, this or that. It's who's Jerry Jones going to hire, and why would he hire someone that would dare push back on anything he would do?
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I just hope that at this time, it's crazy. I know Jerry's really stuck in his ways, but I think he's coming up on that time. Same with Bill. I think both of them, one more championship would give them both a lot more right now than any of their past ones gave them, maybe outside of the first. So I think that maybe this is the time where Belichick, he didn't get hired because he didn't get hired. It wasn't like he didn't want to coach. So maybe him being on TV for a year and him not being hired as a coach, maybe that humbled him a little bit. And for Jerry, you would think there'd be other times he was humbled. But I think right now is the worst it's been in Dallas in a long time. There was never so much talent on the team the year before, and they fell off this hard. So I think that if there ever was a time for Jerry to finally hire somebody that could do it, it's now. And when he hired McCarthy, he was saying, this is Mike's team. I'm not going to get in the way. I'm going to let Mike coach. And it was like, okay, whatever thing. But what if he has that same mentality, but he brings in a coach that's like, okay, well, you said you're going to do this, so I'm going to demand this. And I don't think McCarthy is holding Jerry accountable for when he said, I'm going to let Mike run this. I'm going to let Mike coach the team.
I'm going to play the other side. I'm Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get back in. I'm 73, although I'm kind of digging my life right now. I'm doing every damn TV show there is and every podcast there is, and I'm everywhere, and I'm dating a 20-something-year-old hottie. And look at my life, right? I haven't lost a game in a year, however long it's been. Like, I think I want to get back in, but do I want to? Okay, so now I got most likely Jacksonville calling me. I got Trevor Lawrence there. I got that roster. All right. I might have the Jets and or the Giants calling me. I don't know if either one of those are better. JJ, let's watch this thing and see how it plays out in Philadelphia. Because all of a sudden, as much as Sirianni's taking it, all they do is win every damn week.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. There may be some really good jobs open. Tell me why that's the one I want.
I mean, the most potential.
But explain that to me.
If Jerry comes through, if Bill comes through, it's almost like LeBron going back to Cleveland, If Bill comes to Dallas and brings a championship to Dallas, there'd be nothing he had done in his career that'd be a bigger deal. None of the Super Bowls would be a bigger deal than if Belichick was to come to Dallas and end the 30-year Super Bowl drought. Yeah. That would be more impressive than, I don't know about Tom in Tampa. That was very, very impressive.
With all due respect, you Cowboy fans have a really inflated sense of self. You do. No, honestly. Like with all due respect, if you come win with us, it'll be way better than winning anywhere. I really?
It's a fact, though.
Why?
Because they're the most popular team in America.
You think they're more popular than the Chiefs now?
Yes, even still.
I'm not sure I think that anymore.
Maybe not as liked.
I think Taylor Swift has made the Chiefs way more popular, honestly. I don't know how scientifically to say that.
I think Kansas City is very similar to Dallas, and I think there's an amount of people that don't like the Chiefs because they're tired of Taylor Swift.
They just joined
the winning.
They just joined the club.
JJ, you buy what he says? Because I think Cowboy fan has this inflated sense of self. If we want you, you're going to come to us. It's a privilege. Why would you go to Jacksonville or New York or wherever? And I think Bill Belichick's the guy who's going to look at it and say, well, where do I have the best chance to win? Around Cincinnati.
I think why Cowboy fans feel that way.
Yeah.
We've spent an hour talking about.
Yeah, but we're relatively a Dallas market, right? I mean,
okay, but talking about the Cowboys today for an hour, and that feeds into why they feel like the destination and why everyone is going to want to go there and win a Super Bowl.
I know we're way late for this break, but JJ, why if he gets the opportunity, let's just say, I mean, whether it's Philadelphia, Jacksonville, New York, what else is going to be open? I mean, there's going to be a bunch of jobs open.
I don't think Dallas is at the top of his list.
I don't either. I don't either.
He praises them. He's been praising them.
Good for him, man.
Every time he gets a chance, they got a good roster. They need to do this. They need to. Okay. We'll see.
All right. 505-246-0610. New Orleans will be open too, but that's a mess. That's worse than Dallas. Better hit this break. We're super late. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by U.S.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on?
Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66.
2 big name coaches, one certainly a legend, the other one really an interesting study in college athletics.
Yeah, let's get to that. JJ's tired of the cowboy talk.
Yeah. Bears, I might be too. I think I am as well. 505-246-0610. We got hoops today. Lobo men tonight at the Pit. They play Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Ladies are in Lubbock, where JJ is, to play Texas Tech. We'll get you ready for those as well. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and Isaiah on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my...
Dak Prescott's surgery has been confirmed. The Cowboys quarterback season is over. And 2 big-name coaches from yesteryear, Jerry Faust, the former head coach at Notre Dame, has passed away, and John Robinson, the former Rams, USC, UNLV coach, also passed away. We spoke with Tony Sanchez this morning, the head football coach at New Mexico State. If you want to hear that, it's over wherever you get your podcasts on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on The Opening Drive, and it's there. You can watch our show. Adria's producing on ProView Networks, Comcast Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico, and on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and Isaiah. You're welcome to get in this morning at 505-246-0610. JJ's in Lubbock, Texas, where he's got Lobo women's basketball tonight. Hence, we get a producer today. Like, look at that. And Zay is sitting in.
Yes, sir.
Big one for the ladies tonight, JJ.
Opportunity. These are the games we want to play. Big 12 opponent, Big 12 athletes, Big 12 size. And, you know, Tech picked 10th out of 16 in the Big 12. But these are what you're looking for is, you know, headline wins. We saw... earlier over the weekend, Boise State beat Colorado. Colorado State beat Oregon State. So just moments where you try to get that headline win for the Mountain West Conference. And early offense is going to be key because Tech is long and they press the entire game. And you know, this Lobo backcourt, you know, they're playing 2 freshman guards. They're exciting, but if they handle the pressure, can get some early offense, they can make it interesting.
That'll be tonight here on the Sports Animal. Meanwhile, the Lobo men will be in the pit tonight. They are playing Texas A&M Corpus Christi before heading out to New York to take on 22nd ranked St. John's on Sunday. Not a trap game, but maybe a trap game. Right? It's one of those sandwiched in between UCLA and St. John's. You got business to take care of. JJ, these are the kind that scare you a little bit, right? You like if I find them down by 5 points midway through the first half, it will not stun me.
No, this is a Corpus Christi team that's, I think, top 3, top 4 preseason pick. They're going to try to slow it down a little bit more, play inside game, which you feel might favor the Lobos with what they did at UCLA, leaning into their defense. Might not be as up and down as the Nichols game, but this is what you look for. Is all right. You're coming off a win. We saw UCLA last night. They played Boston. How did they bounce back? And now that you're looking for the same thing, for the Lobos at home, do you get caught looking ahead, or can you go out there and handle the business?
All right. We're talking a lot of football. I know Edward wants to talk football. Just got a text from Howard. It says, I know I'm tired of all the Cowboy talk. There's more organization and structure in a preschool class than there is in that organization. And there certainly aren't as many crybabies in a preschool class as well. And I'm a lifelong Cowboy fan. How about that?
I was going to say, sounds like he likes to do a little bit of Cowboy talk.
Yeah, no, he's a big Cowboy fan.
Yeah, I think I know Howard.
Yeah.
I think I know about Howard.
All right.
That's one of my buddies. We mourn together.
Yeah. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day.
Good day, gentlemen. I hope you had a nice holiday yesterday. Jeff, it was remiss of me to not ask about the Handsome Summit. Between
two good-looking dudes about 8 feet from each other, looking at each other like, whoa, check that guy out. Yeah.
That Spider-Man meme, you've seen that Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other.
Yeah.
But we can discuss the Handsome Summit details later. But, yeah, I told you, if you took a picture, it'd just hang in the Louvre. I forgot to tell you, Mr. Pepper, the deep snapper for the San Francisco 49ers, owned a small business in New Mexico, and his grandparents live in Rio Rancho. Wonderful people.
The guy who took the shot from Debo?
Yeah, sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
The guy who took the shot from Debo Samuel the other day.
Yes. And at the time, he was playing for Michigan State, and he mentioned we were talking sports like we always do. And that wonderful family's like, yeah, my grandson, he's a deep snapper for Michigan State, so I always kind of followed his career. Let me tell you, and I like Debo Samuel. If they wanted to square up, then it would go down. People would go down swinging because Peppers is no joke. That guy is a strong young man, as is Debo. So interesting dynamics of a team. I like Isaiah. He's your guest, right? I think he brings good content. I'm Jeff's same age. We're chronologically advanced. When you lived on the earth for a while, you know some things, right? And when you remove emotion from the decision-making process and you're analytically driven, the things are exposed to you. Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys in 1989. It's been 35 years. He had an amazing 5-year run, right, from 1991 to 1996. An amazing 5-year run. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, which, by the way, I consider the modern era of football to start in 1995 because that's when the salary cap started. So 2 of their Super Bowls were pre-salary cap. Not a knock on them. Outside of that amazing 5-year run, they've been pedestrian. In the entire Tony Romo and Dak Prescott era, which is almost 2 decades, I've never felt, as an objective fan, that they've been even remotely close to being challenging for the Super Bowl. I know they've gotten the number 1 seed a couple of times. I know they had a handful of playoff wins. But in 2 decades, I've never felt like they've been a legitimate shot, a Super Bowl, getting to the Super Bowl. And that's okay, right? They've been a game away from competing for the Super Bowl. And it is what it is. That you can't argue those facts. I think that they need a resurgence. They need to basically bottom out. That's my take. By the way, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I've done some work for the organization. And I'm a huge fan of Jerry Jones. And I agree with him. He would sacrifice one of his sons for one more Super Bowl because he's desperate now. And I've seen this act before with Al Davis. But Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. The game is evolving. You have to be mobile. And he's a smart guy. He's just not great. He's very good, but not great. And I just think that other guys are going to come in and do the job. So in a 35-year run, they had a great 5-year 5-year run where they won 3 Super Bowls. Yes, they're very popular. Yes, they drive ratings. And I always tell my friends, well, then hang banners in your stadium that say we led the league in ratings.
Best ratings. Yep. Number 1 draw on TV. Yep.
Hey, thanks for elaborating, but I'm a huge fan of Isaiah. It's not to knock or tear anybody down or call anybody's baby ugly.
I don't know, man.
It's just to state facts.
No,
Have a great day, guys.
Edward. Thank you.
You all right? You okay back there?
Yeah. I'm doing good.
That's all right. Reality is reality, though.
Yeah, I can't be hurt any worse.
Yeah, that'd be a good banner, though. I mean, we just win Emmys or something.
Yeah, I think
maybe they could hang it over the window to block the sun.
How about that?
Be a great idea.
Such a good idea.
Or you mean Jerry? The famous quote. Hey, Jerry, what about the sun? What do you mean? What about the sun? What about the moon?
We knew the damn sun was going to be there every day. We know what the sun's going to.
We're talking about ego. That's it right there.
Insane.
Like, they have curtains in that stadium, and they use it for concerts and other things. But football games, the windows have to open so the sun can shine in on the football field and blind your wide receivers.
Can I tell you the same thing happened at the Pit years ago? Okay, think of the way the Pit is and the way the Pit was redone. And it was a mid-afternoon Saturday game or something. And
it still happens sometimes.
The sun hits in when it sets on the west. And this time of year in these short days, I mean, at some point the sun's going to set, right? And it hits off of the horizon and hits through those windows on the west side of the Pit. And it causes issues. I mean, you got all these beautiful stadiums. Oh, it's so good. And you can see outside. Holy bleep, the sun's in his eyes and he dropped the ball.
Yeah, when you mentioned the curtains to Jerry, he responds like if you were 8 years old and you suggested to your parents that they move a couch. Hey, why is that couch there? Move that over here. And they're going to say, well, what do you mean? I put that there for a reason. Who are you to question
What's
me?
The reason?
Yeah.
Well,
there's some obvious reasons, Jerry. He doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, it's bonkers. All right. Hey, when we come back, let's do this. The best team in the NBA is, and I know, but do most people know? And do they believe they're the best team in the NBA? 12-0, and a little history last night in the National Basketball Association. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Join The Sports Animal for Lobo Talk.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Who's the best team in the NBA? I mean, at least off to the best start. What's up, boys and girls? Opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and Isaiah. That's right. We have a producer today. I don't know what it's like a day after a holiday. Hey, you guys can have a producer. It's kind of cool. JJ's in Lubbock. He's got Lobo women's basketball tonight here on The Sports Animal, getting ready to go out to the shoot around. Look at you changing clothes, getting all dressed up. What time does the bus leave?
I will probably bounce after this segment.
All right. Are the Cleveland Cavaliers, after their 119-113 victory over the Chicago Bulls last night, which has now made them the 8th team in the history of the NBA to begin the season undefeated in their first 12 games, the first team to do it since the 2015-16 Golden State Warriors, who went on to a 24-0 start and were 73-9. Are they the best team in the NBA?
Number one in the power rankings, still not better than the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference. However, we can have a legit conversation between the Cavaliers and the New York Knicks as who's going to play the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, because 76ers are a mess. I do not know how Milwaukee struggles this much with Giannis and Dame.
Right.
So Cleveland, New York, and Boston in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to agree with JJ there. The Celtics are still better than the Cavaliers. I mean, I might as well call these guys the Cleveland Vikings right now.
Because they're winning so close?
Yeah, but I think it's just one of those beginning of the season. I don't want to say flukes. I think they are going to be better than we expected, but I do think they're just on a heater right now. And once they lose their first game, I think they'll start losing much more.
The roster's nice. This was a team that got better last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're nice. They're winning close games, and they're off to a 12-0 start, which is pretty impressive. All right, the other thing in the NBA, here comes the NBA Cup. You guys all fired up about this?
Bring on the cup, baby. Lakers defending champs.
So you are, JJ, right?
Yeah, playing for a trophy.
Banner.
No.
There's a banner hanging in Crypto.
Hang a banner.
Arena.
Lakers hung a banner as Emirates Cup champs.
Emirates? Is that what it's called?
I think so.
It's not just NBA Cup. There's a corporate sponsor on this thing?
That's why they're doing it.
My big issue with it, I mean, last year after the Lakers won it, they almost stopped trying until Christmas. So I fear that teams will do that. They're going to win their little cup and then be fine until Christmas time.
You're going to win your little cup. All right.
I still think there needs... I know there's money for the winners. You get extra money, but I still think there needs to be something that is dramatic. Like, and you are awarded an extra first round pick, like something
I like that.
sizable
Yeah, I
for
like that.
this.
So you get like a pick at the bottom of the first round, and it just
Just like here's an extra first round pick for you.
Can you trade that pick?
Boom. Yeah, why not?
'Cause
Like,
they're-
make
they're-
it
they're- okay,
have
but-
more oomph than just money for the players, because fans are like, okay, you guys get more money. You won a regular season cup. How do you want this to matter to us?
Yeah, like what's
Because you
in it
get
for us?
really ugly courts when you do it, and really crazy uniforms.
Yeah, I mean, last year LeBron said one of the main motivations was winning the money for the younger players. So
like his kid.
Yeah, this year I guess that would be the case.
Like I can give him more allowance.
Yeah,
it's really what it is, right?
I don't know if Bronny needs that little bonus.
Bronny's doing just fine.
Yeah,
Bronny's doing just fine. Yeah, and Bronny is going to be with the South Bay Lakers and not even have to travel with them.
Yeah.
So like when they go to Canton and when they go all these places, Bronny will be with the Lakers.
And I think everyone gets that money, huh? It's not just the roster. I think it does go as deep as, I don't know about G League.
I have no idea how deep it goes.
But like a lot more people get that money than just the players.
I have no idea. But obviously it means something to them, I guess. I just don't know that it means something to anybody else.
No.
Like I just don't know that I think it means to your basic fan. All right, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the text line, it says, good morning. Did you notice that on the Mountain West Conference website that they rated Lobo football as number 5 in the standings this week? Can some of that be Coach Mendenhall's rep as a very good program builder? Certainly it was their best defensive performance of the year. Also, what are the odds of Devin Dampier leaving UNM for greener NIL pastures? Let's hit the back part first, JJ. I mean, the odds of that, and we've all talked about it. We've all, acknowledged it. I mean, the odds are very real that Devin Dampier may be in the NIL, right?
Yes, it is a legit possibility for every player after the season.
As far as the standings, it's got nothing to do with Bronco Mendenhall's reputation. New Mexico is tied for 5th with Fresno State. They're 3-3. That's just wins and losses. This isn't, you got Boise State at 5-0, Colorado State at 4-0, UNLV at 3-1, San Jose State at 3-2, and then New Mexico and Fresno State at 3-3. Right? That's not reputation. That's just sheer numbers, right?
That's the standings.
And so close to 2 more wins. Just looking to the future, there's some hope there for the Lobo program. You think a little closer than I think, JJ, or I think there's 2 wins that you could easily have tacked on there. I think next year
it's going to sting when this. Looking back on Wyoming and Montana State, like that's why they're not going to go to a bowl game
if they don't go to a bowl game.
Yeah, because Washington State barely beat San Diego State. It was a 3-point game.
That was a 3-point game.
So we'll see. And from what I hear, San Diego State was in control for majority of
They
that
were.
game.
They had a turnover late in that game and gave that game away late in that game. You guys know what the spread is this weekend? JJ, have you seen it yet?
7.
You say 7?
That's
JJ?
a guess.
So Washington State at New Mexico.
No.
I'll go Cougs. 12.5.
13. Yeah. 13. Was the last time the Cougs were here was that New Mexico Bowl where they lost with Mike Leach to Colorado State? Was that the last time they were here?
Yes.
I got their notes right here. I'm sure it tells me that in there. That game was crazy. That was that 48-45 game where Colorado State scored 8-3 and 7. What is that? 8-3 and 7. That's 18 points in the last 2 minutes and 5 seconds or something. Scored a touchdown. Washington State got it back and got a first down, and it was over. And late great Mike Leach, man, he wasn't going to sit on it, and they ran it. They fumbled. Connor Halliday fumbled. They had like an 8-minute replay. Determined that he was down, gave him the ball back. Shaquille Barrett ripped the ball out of the running back's hand on the next play. Colorado State scored with 33 seconds to go to get to within 2. Ran a Statue of Liberty play for the 2-point conversion. Dude dove at the pylon. Referee stumbled, came up and waved it off. No good. They did another long replay. Deemed that he did hit the pylon. It's 45 all. So there's 33 seconds to go. Washington State's getting the ball back. Connor Halliday had already thrown for 6 touchdown passes. At the time, it was a bowl record, not New Mexico Bowl, all bowl record for touchdown passes in a bowl game. So he's going to get the ball back with 2 timeouts, 33 seconds to go. Washington State fumbled the kickoff. Rams get it back, kick a field goal at the gun. Jim McElwain beats Mike Leach 48-45 in just a absolute class. Remember that one, dude? That was one of the great ones. That was
insane.
That was I think that was the last time the Cougs were in town. Football this week, border war, Wyoming, Colorado State. CSU is a 10-point favorite. Wyoming can get them, huh? If Wyoming, I mean, they had the week off after beating New Mexico, and I don't know. I mean, is this one out of reach, or do we think Colorado State's that much better than Wyoming? Wyoming's been losing a lot of close games.
Nothing is ever out of reach in the border war.
So that's going to be in Fort Collins, 6 o'clock Friday. Hawaii, Utah State. Hawaii's got to win out to then get a waiver to be bowl eligible. They're 4-6, but 2 of their victories were against FBS teams. Only one's supposed to count. They played Delaware State and Northern Iowa. So if they get to 6, they'd have to get a waiver, and it would only be if there weren't enough bowl eligible teams to fill the system. Oregon State at Air Force, Boise State. This is a tricky one. I'm not going to tell you San Jose State's going to win, but I'm telling you they can. Boise State on the road at San Jose State, 13.5-point favorite is Boise State. And the Aztecs are at Vegas, 20.5-point dogs at UNLV. Boise State at San Jose State, does that concern you at all for the Broncos?
I'm not concerned.
Okay.
I think it can be close, similar to what we saw against Nevada, but I expect the Broncos to be the more consistent team over 4 quarters.
And that QB's got to do a better job taking care of the football. He threw some really bad interceptions that last game.
Which one, for Boise?
Yeah, for
Mattis?
Boise. Yeah, he threw some really bad interceptions. He almost threw the game away.
Tell you what, man, Nevada was with them all night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought Nevada had a chance to pull it off, and then they had a big turnover late.
Yeah.
But they were right there with them. So that's what you get. What else I got on the text line? I got, hey guys, all 3 of you on Facebook feed, can we shift gears and refrain from such an embarrassing and depressing topic, the Dallas Cowboys? I'm sick of the Cowboys. Just saying, go Broncos. Laugh out loud. It's John.
We tried, but then the caller comes on through.
Huh?
Reels us back in.
Gets the people going.
Yeah. The reason the cup is meaningless is because all the talking heads go on every day and drop a Cleveland steamer on the chest of the tournament. If you guys start talking about it like it means something, which it does, then people will stop doing the same thing that you guys do. So we're the reason that the cup doesn't mean anything to the average fan. Isn't that what that's saying?
Absolutely.
We're dropping a big Cleveland steamer. What steamer did we drop? Cleveland's 12-0. I asked if they're the best team in the league. What's the steamer that is?
That's a good one.
No, honestly.
No, I agree. I mean, I don't buy the Cleveland hype, but I don't know if that's exactly what he meant by Cleveland steamer.
No. What does he mean?
He's talking about us taking a big old dump on
That's what I'm saying.
NBA Cup. It's going to take time. It just started. People are still learning what the heck this is, and it's Tuesday and Fridays for half the season.
Look, here's what this is. This isn't, and to the texter, I get it. It's an attempt by the NBA to be relevant pre-Christmas because in a lot of people's mind, the NBA season did not start until Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm well aware of that. And so they've decided to put a cup and money on the line and have some tournament and something different and uniforms and courts. And I appreciate what they're doing. That doesn't mean that me or you or the basic fan has to go, wow, this is so cool because you're telling me it is. Like is that a steamer? Am I taking a big dump on their tournament? No, it just doesn't do much for most fans is what I'm saying. For some it does, and for the Lakers it was great because they got to hang a banner. That's all. Yeah. I get what it is.
Has there ever been a sport that ever did something like this?
Soccer does it all the time.
Okay.
It's a soccer thing.
Okay.
And those have been played for a long time, and they hit differently because they usually involve teams outside of just one league. And so when you have the runs, it's the same thing with the U.S. Open Cup with United a few years back and what we've seen. When you go on a run and you beat an MLS team and there's a different vibe to it, this is just NBA teams playing the teams they play all the time for just a bonus check in season.
Yeah,
Okay.
Involve a Mountain West team, man. Let the Lobos play the Lakers and see what happens. Go ahead.
Yeah, they need to find ways to. They need to add things for fans. I mean, this cup, the All-Star Weekend, there's a lot of things where they need to add more incentives. And the play style of the NBA doesn't help any of it at all.
Look, I give them a lot of credit for trying, and it may work. But you don't. It's rare that you get to do something right away and it hits. They did it one time, and they're still tweaking it.
And this is a clear indication that the NBA, I mean, like I just said before, that with the play style, I mean, in 2009, 2010, you didn't need to add extra things to make the season interesting. But now it's just a bunch of 6'9" guys all shooting threes. So now you have to start adding different things to try to make it interesting because it's a bunch of three-point shooting. I think maybe they could try to figure out some way to, I don't know if you want to say slow the game down, but I mean, any night could end up being a 30-point blowout. So fans don't really want to watch until it's more important. And they're trying to offer the players money, hoping that the competition level will raise and that it'll be more entertaining, which is true. But at the end of the day, it still is not enough for fans to care.
Maybe at some point, but maybe it isn't off the top. All right, you out of here, dude? You got to go get on the bus? All right, catch JJ tonight. He's got the call from beautiful Lubbock, Texas.
4:30 pregame.
4:30 pregame. 5 o'clock tip. Lobo's in Texas Tech. All right, have a great call, dude.
Appreciate it.
All right, Isaiah and I are back. 505-2460. I mean, we got to talk about the Cowboys. Oh, no, we don't. I got your emails. I got your texts. I got all kinds of stuff that you're in on, including the breaking news this morning in the National Football League. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Get a new college football playoff rankings tonight, too. Text line says, not just you guys taking a big Cleveland steamer on the tournament. I heard Rome talking about the tournament, too. It'll become important when the people who are responsible for reporting it feel like it's important. All right, fair enough. But you got to give me, like, don't you, I don't know.
It's a tough one.
Well, fair, but you got to give me something to feel that it's important. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say, here's a tournament and it's going to be important and go.
Yeah,
like it didn't do anything for me last year. Maybe and for some people it did. These games on whatever Tuesdays and Fridays or whatever they played them and with different courts and telling me that it just didn't do anything for me. It was just another game with different uniforms and courts.
Well, you know how it is in these professional sports, how when the more popular teams are good, the whole league benefits from it. And the Lakers winning it last year really, if there was any hope that it would fall off, it went out the window when the Lakers won it because, that was the most popular team possible that could have won the cup. But, seeing LeBron try and Anthony Davis try for something like that was awesome. But, we just had the Olympics. So, that was already one thing we saw NBA players involved in where they cared about, outside of the NBA finals. We had NBA finals in the Olympics. And then now you have this NBA Cup, and it's just such a fall off.
How did you feel about them hanging a banner
for the Cup? I thought it was. I don't know. I think you have to really look back, maybe in like 5 to 10 years, and see if it ever picks up any steam. But if this is something that just never becomes a big deal, you have to really think about taking that thing down.
If Memphis would have hung a banner, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
With the tradition of the Lakers? I just, okay.
Yeah.
And so when it resonated so hollow with the fan base of the team who won it.
Yeah.
And some in response to the texter. So that's kind of where I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, maybe that's where there's potential, right? Maybe a team wins it that doesn't have
maybe, and
17.
It means more.
Yeah.
Because, counter kind of where you are, the fact that the Lakers did win it, you're like, okay, that's the greatest thing that could happen. The most popular team won. And
yeah.
And then what happened? Then what did they do? Then they finished in the play-in tournament and went out in the first round. Like, okay, cute. But if Memphis would have won it, they hang a banner. If Orlando or Minnesota or somebody that doesn't have a building full of banners,
mm-hmm.
Right? How does that supposed to stand there sitting next to Shaq and Kobe and Magic and Kareem and Wilt and look, we won an in-season tournament and what is it? I think and the fact that the Laker fan base was whatever, but everybody else is supposed to care about it. It's supposed to be a big deal. The team who won it, their fan base was like, yawn. Now, if Oklahoma City would have won it, or Minnesota or someone that doesn't have one, okay, maybe that would sit a little bit differently. I don't know.
Yeah, and then at that point you have to just hope that they win it because you can't say, hey, Lakers, Celtics, you have too many championships.
No, and by the way, what happened to the Lakers after that? Right? What happened after all that? So
yeah, exactly.
All right. 505-246-0610. Terry, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Terry.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, JJ. Good morning, Isaiah. I was kind of going back on Belichick. I wonder if he'd get the band back together with Josh McDaniel. And if he had his choice, would it be Bears or Jaguars? Could McDaniel, fix one of those QBs? Williams definitely holds on to the ball too long. Trevor Lawrence, I don't know, maybe needs to get a haircut. But Cliff Kingsbury has done a good job with Washington. Not a great head coach, but working with that way. I think it goes back to the day of Brady and Bledsoe, and why Brady worked out so much better was Bledsoe would just tap it, take a sack, and, shockingly, 3rd and 7's a lot easier than 3rd and 15. So I don't know which way you guys think they would go. Bears seem to have a little better D, but those were the two options I'd look at going for them if he could pick it. Vrabel also is somebody, but I think he more could take somebody like the Giants where quarterbacks are optional, and then he could work more, be the tough guy defense. But I'll wait, get off. Guys doing well. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, Bears or Cowboys? What's a better job?
I think he said he also threw Jaguars in there too. Huh?
All right. Look, to me, I look at the Bears roster. I got a young quarterback who I think is right. I know a lot of people don't like Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is going to be okay. I got 3 receivers. I got a good defense. I got an owner that's going to let me go do my job, as opposed to what the Cowboys roster is.
So I think both of these teams have a dark cloud that looms over them. But I just feel like in Chicago, it would be, you can't really see the light at the end of the tunnel there. I mean, then also look at the division. I mean, yes, the Commanders are getting better in the East, and the Eagles are the Eagles. But do you know how hard it would be to get the Bears good enough to compete with Detroit, who seems to be getting better every week? They didn't look the best last week, but they still showed that they could come back after throwing 5 interceptions and win. So as far as I'm concerned with the team, they are getting better every week. And, it'd be so hard to be competitive in that division. And I just feel like there's more potential in Dallas. And although Caleb is young, I still, as a coach, would feel more confident that I could win with Dak than Caleb.
Eagles are good. Washington's young and getting good, and they're going to get better. Why do you think they're going to go away?
They're not. But
so what makes the NFC East easier? I mean, the Lions are really good right now. How long does that last? I don't know, a couple of years? I'm Bill Belichick. I mean, I only have, how long do I want to do this? But it's not about winning my damn division. Like, if I'm Bill Belichick, I'm not coming in and saying I want to win my division. What gives me the best shot to win the NFC and get to the Super Bowl? And you still, no matter where you are, Dallas or Chicago, you got to go through the Lions, right?
Yeah, at some point. But I'd rather go through the Lions one time in the playoffs rather than facing them twice. And I think that the Lions, I guess the Vikings are a little, they're a little questionable right now. But I think the Lions and the Packers, as a combo, are better than the Commanders and the Eagles.
505-246-0610. You still have time to get in. We're going to take the final break. We'll come back and wrap it up and get you everything you got to know. As you go through your Tuesday, Global Basketball tonight, it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the...
We'll call Lobo women's basketball tonight here on the Sports Animal against Texas Tech. 4:30 pregame, 5 o'clock start. And right after that, over on News Radio KKOB, Robert Portnoy, Hunter Green will have the call. Lobo men's basketball back at it in the pit against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Big game for New Mexico men before they head off and take on St. John's on Sunday in Madison Square Garden in New York City. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. What do you got to know as you go through your day? Dolphins beat the Rams last night, 23-15 on Monday Night Football. Defense for Miami, and the Rams did not score a touchdown. 23-15. Tyreek Hill, we didn't get into this. He said his lingering wrist injury, or at least what Lisa Salters reported on ESPN's pregame show, was that from when he got arrested. Remember?
Oh, wow.
He claimed that was from when he got arrested, when he was put down on the ground. And now after the game, he didn't want to talk about that, but Lisa Salters said that, that's what he told her before the game. And he didn't want to say anything about it, but he's just been dealing with it. But that the wrist injury that has been hampering him was sustained when he was arrested and put down on the ground.
Oh, wow. And, I'm no doctor, but I have had a torn wrist ligament, and I thought it was a sprain for a year, and I eventually got it fixed, and I ended up having, I've got arthritis in my wrist from that, and I'm 27 with arthritis already in my wrist.
Well, he's got a torn ligament in his wrist.
And so I would hope that he's, I'm sure he's gotten it looked at, but I hope he doesn't let it linger too long, or else it will always bother him.
Lisa Salter said it's something that he's really been dealing with all season. It first started in training camp, but then it got re-aggravated when he was arrested right before the opening game of the season, taken to the ground by police, and said that's where the further damage was done. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, take that what you need to.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. 505-246-0670. You said Ken?
Kem, K-E-M.
Hello, Kem. You're on the Sports Animal. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Yeah, I kind of I'm going to try to be as nice as possible. Dallas fans, I mean, you lose complete credibility with everybody else that are not Dallas Cowboy fans. Talking about potential, talking about it's a really good job, talk about this was the year to win a Super Bowl. We've been talking about this for 30 years. And, beginning of the season, Jerry Jones says we're all in. Okay, he got one player in the offseason. And this is being all in. They were 3-5 with Dak in there. So we can't hear excuses about, the roster or Dak was hurt. They were terrible when Dak was there. So Cowboy fans, I don't know. You lose your credibility completely when you're not realistic. And, other teams, like I'm a Raider fan. I know they're terrible. I know they don't have a good organization. They're not good. There's no silver lining. There's nothing that would say, yay, come to the Raiders. We're going to win. We got a great stadium. I don't care. They could play in Wilson Stadium and win a Super Bowl, and I would be happy. I don't care. They could play in a parking lot. So Cowboy fans, I'm sorry, but you lose your credibility when you say crazy stuff over and over and over for 30 years.
You did.
Second, real quick, the Lobo basketball team. I'm absolutely fired up for this team this year. I think we were ranked 36th. VCU, one of our next opponents, is 41. St. John's is 22nd. We got a great schedule coming up, and there's a lot of really good opportunities coming up for Lobos to really make a stamp on this season here locally and nationally. Thanks, guys. That's all I got.
Thanks, Kim. Big game for Lobo basketball tonight. What am I trying to do here?
Yep, I got you.
You got me?
Right. Yes, sir. Well, I think you made some good points, but
that you guys are that you blowhard Cowboy fans are like.
well, to my defense and to our defense, I mean, this is what I like about having not only a platform, but I've been on the same station. Anybody who's heard me, I'm far from one of those fans. I mean, there may be some things I'm delusional about, but I've been very, very heartbroken since the off season when we did absolutely nothing. And I agree with Kem to the point where if anybody is or was thinking that we could win a Super Bowl after the offseason we had, and if there's still people, that think there's hope for the season this year and they're being serious, then yes, I think they are losing credibility. But now it's such a laughing stock that, you can pretend to be serious and everybody knows you're joking.
Are the Jets the same boat? Can the Jets stop too, please? No, honestly.
Yeah.
Why are they so bad? Aaron Rodgers after the game. I don't know why we're so flat.
Yeah, me either.
Quote: there's been a lot of emotions this year for sure. I thought after a big win on Thursday night and a nice long break, we were going to come out with a lot of energy and win the game. We didn't come out with great energy on either side of the ball. Offensively, you're not going to beat anybody scoring 6 points. They got run out of the building by the Cardinals. Yeah. I think the Cardinals are nice. I don't think they're great.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Can we stop with the Jets already?
Yeah. They did, I think we were done, right? It was a couple weeks ago we were done.
They won a game.
Game. And they got Adams, and you're like, oh,
Oh, cute.
And then another loss.
Dude, they're 3-7. They beat the 49ers in opening. I'm sorry, they did not beat them. They beat the Titans, the Patriots, and then that really nice win against the Texans, where you're, all right. Sometimes there's a fluke in the NFL. Mm-hmm. In fact, every week there's a damn fluke in the NFL. Every week. Can we stop with these guys?
Yeah. It hurts. It hurts. Aaron Rodgers is one of my favorite quarterbacks.
Can we say, all right, look, who's undefeated? Who's the only person that's undefeated? Father Time.
Oh, and the Chiefs.
Father Time. No, and the Chiefs for this year. The Chiefs. Father Time and the Chiefs. All right, but your dude, like, he might be your favorite. Dude looks old and coming off it looks like a 40-year-old guy coming off an Achilles injury.
Yeah, and I made this point yesterday, and I think that Tom Brady, he's really kind of chalked. It's Tom and LeBron. Those two have really chalked
what a 40-year-old's supposed to look like.
Yeah, and they've chalked Father Time. So now we expect.
But it caught him. It caught Brady, and it was done. And he got out just as he's like, because you can see everybody says he didn't look like he was. His numbers in that last year. No, watch him. I mean, he was slowing down. He was like, and he's so proud he was going to get out before it.
Mm-hmm. He got out perfect time. I mean, maybe not perfect.
No, it was kind of perfect.
It was.
And LeBron is going to be 40 in December, and still looks like LeBron.
Yeah, he's gonna stop while able to score a triple-double.
Yeah. But after that, man, no, you're right on that. I heard that point yesterday, and you're right. And so, look, Rodgers been chasing Brady his whole career. He has. And he's never been that guy. He's never had that team. He's never had the success. He's not.
He hasn't been the leader.
Okay.
He hasn't been the leader that Tom is. Aaron will throw his guys under the bus. Maybe not always verbally. But this year it's been very verbally. But in the past, I mean, you would just see him when the camera would zoom in on his face after a drop pass or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And at some point, Father Time's going to get you. And look, whether it's the Achilles, and I think that's part of it.
Of course.
He's not that dude. I mean, would you say he's in the lower third of quarterbacks in the NFL right now?
No. See, with Aaron, when I watch him, he's not Aaron as consistent as he used to be Aaron. But there's still some throws where I'm like, all right, even right now, there's a few guys who can make that same throw he just made. But it seems that even when he does make those throws, the guys will drop it.
How many quarterbacks in the league are you taking today? You need to win a game on Sunday.
Oh.
I mean, Buffalo's situation's better. Are you taking Tua instead of him? Because I am.
Oh.
Just to win a game this week. I'm not telling you career, lifetime achievement. I got to win a game last night.
That's a good one. That's a real good one.
I'll take him over what New England's got. I'll take him over Lamar. No. Burrow. No.
Gosh, no.
Whatever Cleveland's got. Yes. Russell Wilson right now. I mean, this should be a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, I got to go Russ right now.
CJ Stroud?
Yeah.
Joe Flacco?
No. Okay, no.
Trevor Lawrence?
No.
Whatever the Titans got?
No.
Bo Nix?
I'm going to take Bo. It's crazy to say.
Mahomes?
Of course.
Whatever the Raiders got?
No.
Herbert?
No.
You're taking Herbert over him right now. Absolutely.
Yeah, Herbert, he gets hurt okay, healthy one game.
I need to win Sunday.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray, I'm taking over him. Matt Stafford, I'm taking over him. Brock Purdy, I'm taking over him. I may take him over Geno. Kirk Cousins? See? Carolina, you're taking him over Carolina.
Yeah.
Saints?
Yeah.
Baker? I'm taking Baker.
Yeah.
Probably take him over the Bears. Not taking him over Goff. Not taking him over Love. I mean, see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I never thought about it like that.
Wow. I'm here to open your eyes. That's all. Thank you to Tony Sanchez, who's with us today, the head coach at New Mexico State. You can listen to it online at sportsanalytiq.com. Click on the opening drive. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 minutes on us here at 4. And then JJ takes over at 4:30 with Global Women's Basketball. Zay, thanks for being here today.
Of course.
Adrian, great work on the visuals. Appreciate you. Got 3 boxes up today. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree